What's going on? What's up, people? It's the BQF, Black Quarterback Forum, coming to you solo style tonight. I believe this episode 17. It was 4 weeks during the preseason, that 3 weeks, and then a week in between. And then we got week 13 in the book, week 14 coming up. So this will be episode 17. So the Black Quarterback Forum, baby, we on the rise. Just want to say I appreciate all the people that go to the website. Website got almost 2,000 views. I think that's pretty good. I try to keep it fresh, entertaining, some of my storylines. So I appreciate that. And I'm sporting Thursday night. I'm sporting my Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. This is Dwayne Haskins, the brother that was drafted by the Washington. Well, at the time, he still was the Washington Redskins or Washington Commanders now, and he was tragically killed. I believe last year, 2022. Uh, Pittsburgh had picked him up. Mike Tomlin was going to give him another chance. He had not so great years in Washington. Anyway, if you ain't never heard, read his story, Dwayne Haskins, go read about him. It's very interesting and very crazy to say the least. But anyway, let's get to it. What's going on, people? It's week 14, right? Thursday night. So to me, this is what I call the nitty gritty crunch time. Every game is a playoff game, right? All those teams that we've been talking about all season long, the top teams in the AFC, NFC, every week's a big week. Because if you don't win, it changes your playoff seeding. So, top teams in the AFC, I mean, I believe it's Miami, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Jacksonville. But I think Baltimore is the top team. So to me, I think Baltimore going to the Super Bowl. Just gonna say it. In the NFC, we got Niners, Eagles, Dallas, and Lions. At this point in time, I think the Niners are going to the Super Bowl. Period. I know the knock on their quarterback. He played with the lead and he ain't had to bring the team back. I get it. He's doing what's asking him within that system. And I'm gonna jump around here before I get into my stats for my NFC quarterbacks. I ain't gonna cover the AFC, maybe touch on a couple. But in regards to the NFC, that game with the Eagles and the Niners, right? Y'all know I've been watching football for a long time. I mean, 30 plus years, and I know they got all these expert analysts out there to snap, but just from a football standpoint, and I didn't even know a stat that I'm gonna throw at you that after I say what I gotta say here. That when the Eagles didn't score in their first two possessions, they only got field goals. To me, that just left the door open for the Niners. You know how exposed they were offensively. And it was like you could see as soon as the Niners scored, you could see it. They was like, yeah, we took their best punches. Let's get at them. And the Niners scored 14 points, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, six touchdowns. Eagles could the Niners had more juice. Eagles are doing all that talking. But then I saw it's Thursday, right? So I've been watching the sporting shows a little bit more because they kind of saying the same thing we've been saying all year long about some of these black quarterbacks, some of these football in general. We see who the best teams are. We ain't got figured none of that out now. But one of the stats that I heard in regards to the Niners is if you get up on them early, their chances of winning are less. But as if you take your time and they get up on you, or if it's 0-0 going into the second quarter, you're only up three, their chances increase. And when they score first, it's like lights out. So that's what I'm saying. You got to get up on them. Make Purdy have to come back. Yep, that's his name, Purdy. Make him have to come back. So, and the Eagles just blew it. They just didn't have that. But to me, they get up on you, hey, lights out. And I know one of the analysts I love on TV, he don't believe in him, you know, but I understand. Purdy hasn't done anything to make you go, wow, he ain't had to bring the team back. He ain't. Well, he did play in the conference championship game. He lost. He got hurt. We all know. But so all I'm saying to me right now, NFL is a week-to-week proposition. 49ers are the best team in the NFC. Okay, period. Hands down. They just smack the Eagles around. They're like, come on, Dallas. Come on. What you got? Really? Come on. Speaking of games coming up, Cowboys Eagles. That's a big game. Like every game is big, right? Like I said, every game is big now. And the Cowboys, right? We talked about their schedule. I don't know a while ago. Me and my man Shamiz, he not here with me tonight. But Cowboys Eagles, right? Cowboys, man, if they don't beat the Eagles this weekend, their last four games, they got the Eagles this weekend. And they got at Buffalo, at Miami, the Lions, and the Commanders. So I think they'll lose two of the last four. I don't know which two. They're definitely not going to go 4-0. So it's going to be a tough task for the Cowboys to get all the way to the conference championship. I've been saying this from the beginning of the year. To me, for Dak and the Cowboys, and Dak get more love, man, than Jesus. And Jesus don't even play football. You know what I'm saying? Dak, the Cowboy, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. So Dak MVP level. Maybe he has been playing at the MVP level. Just ask Lamar Jackson about winning the MVP. You got to get to the Super Bowl and win. I think Lamar Jackson would trade that MVP trophy in for a Super Bowl Lombardi trophy in a heartbeat. So maybe Dak wins MVP. Who doesn't? Speaking of the MVP, one of my favorite shows I was watching. Y'all know if you go to the website, first things first. I don't think ESPN had this stat because I don't watch ESPN that much, but I have been listening to him this week. But anyway, I watched Nick Wright, first things first. So they showed the MVP race. They had Purdy, and they had four black guys behind them. I think it was Lamar, Dak, Patrick, and Tua. So just speaking of quarterbacks only, we know what Tyreek Hill has done this year. But we're talking about quarterbacks only. So Purdy's about first in almost every category. So that's what I'm saying. It's hard not to be rooting for him. And you know, it is what it is. I love my black quarterbacks. Hey, but if you read my commentary, you understand where I'm coming from. I just like the fact that black quarterbacks have emerged on the scene, and as I say, the rise of black quarterbacks continues, baby. We just we getting there. The more black quarterbacks in the league, the more chance we have winning games, leading conference championships, leading Super Bowls. Okay, so when I talk about Super Bowl, how special it is, and what kind of magic you need, and some of these quarterbacks just don't have it, and that's plain and simple. But the NFL won't give you that idea that there's hope for like the Steelers, this jersey I'm wearing. I mean, even if the Steelers make this playoffs, do they really got a chance with Trubisky of getting to the Super Bowl? I mean, come on. And right now, the Falcons are the four seed in the South. I mean, winning that division. I mean, Desmond Ritter, he's one of them black white guys. He got some black in him, like Patrick Mahomes. He just not good, Patrick Mahomes. But Desmond Ritter, I mean, come on. We talk about the black quarterbacks. We look at them constructively and fairly. You know, that division is not good. I don't care who wins. They're not going to be a factor in the NFC. You have the Lions, the Eagles, Cowboys, and Niners. Those are the top teams. And right now, if you ask me, like I said, I see a Super Bowl of Baltimore and the Niners. I would love to see Baltimore play Dak, Baltimore play Philly, see if a brother from the NFC could get there. I don't know. We'll see over these last 5 games. So, but in the AFC, ooh, it's heavy, but I still think Lamar ain't gonna come out on top. And if you watch their videos and read my commentary all season long, they had questions about Lamar. They still do. They got questions about Patrick. We know the drops have been well documented. Tua, his issues to some degree. So, but when you look at the AFC, the top quarterbacks are black, hands down. Injuries to Trevor Lawrence, messing up his ankle. He ain't done for the season. But and then the Bills gonna be playing with their hair on fire this week against the Chiefs. And they got the Cowboys in a couple of weeks and whatever else the rest of their schedule. I don't have all their schedule in front of me. But so these teams, like I said, every game going forward is a big game. So just looking at Eagles and Cowboys, like huge. I think the Cowboys should let should take should let the Eagles bring the aggression, right? Because the Eagles pissed off. They want to get that taste of that Niner loss out of their mouth. So if I was the Cowboys, I wouldn't be overly aggressive to start this game. Let's just see what you're gonna do, Philadelphia. Cowboys have played the Eagles well, and they show stats about the Cowboys at home this year and Dak and like I call them fantastical, magically, statistically pretty games. He's 300, 400 yards, 4 touchdowns. You know, so we'll see about that one. But to me, if the Cowboys don't win that game, there's no way you're gonna win the division, and you got to go on the road for the playoffs, and you got to go through San Fran, which is just sitting back. Yeah, come on, we got you, Dallas. We waiting on you. The Lions and the Bears. Are the Lions really that team that's going to challenge somebody in the NFC? The Bears got should have high motivation, which brings me to my man Justin Fields. I just think he needs a new home. I just think He's run his course in Chicago. Love him, hate him. It's 50-50, right? Some people love him, some people hate him. He's obviously talented enough, I believe, to play in the NFL. I just think he needs a system that around him. Don't fit him in a system, but build a system around him, get him what he needs. And a fresh start. I had the Jags and the Browns down here. I was trying to find articles this week to see who was going to start. It's Thursday, so I'm sure they'll probably have some more stuff out there tomorrow. I'll go check on DTR. Excuse me. Some of the things I was hearing and reading, oh, they had such a great start. I think Joe Flacco, they lost though. Joe Flacco looked good. So we'll see what's going on there. But that's a big game for the Jags, right? They need to keep winning to stay. Well, when Houston's right behind them, I think they got some tie advantage over Houston in that division. But still, they need to keep winning. Bills and Chiefs, once again, huge game, right? Patrick don't want to win. The Bills need to win and try to make the playoffs. And most likely they will make the playoffs. Or excuse me, the Bills are out of the playoffs at the moment. So they're going to be trying real hard. Broncos, Chargers. I just obviously tag a lot of games with black quarterbacks in them. Russ out there on the West Coast. Seattle, he going back out there to LA. So I always jokingly say everybody loves the sunny LA. Not really. You go out there and you get waxed, but lately the Chargers ain't been doing much. Neither the Rams. But we'll see what happens with Russ and the Chargers. Maybe that sunshine will help them. And the Packers and the Giants. I hope my man Jordan Love follows up this game with another good game. If y'all watch these videos and read my commentary, you know how much I love Jordan Love. I ain't saying that because it sounds kind of stupid, but you know, I hated the way they hated on him in the beginning. So, but let me get to their stats and see what's going on with some of the things. I'm just checking my phone here, seeing what's going on, seeing if somebody of importance may have texted me, but not the case. Anyway, so I normally would cover the NFC side of things. So, and just, I had to do the whole videos myself. I didn't really jot down too much of the AFC, but I'll go over what I got on the NFC. And so, Dak, once again, this was last week. He played Seattle, right? And one of those fantastically, magically statistical games that I call it. He had 299 yards passing. But what's crazy with him and Geno in this game, they both threw the ball 41 times. Dak was successful 21 for 41, 299, 7.3 average, 3 touchdowns, no INTs. He was sacked 4 times for 24 yards. The QBR, nobody talks about that. It's the rating. I was I was watching. I don't really watch ESPN much, like I said, but I've been watching all the different shows this week. And but FS1 they don't never mention the QBR. They just stick straight to the rating. But Dak's rating was 115.8. Geno, once again, like I said, threw it 41 times. He only connected 23 times. He threw it 41 times. He only connected 23. Had 334 yards, 8.1 average, 3 TDs, 1 INT. He wasn't sacked. His QBR was 91.2, but his rating was 97. See, the QBR, man, we went over that. We broke that down earlier in the season. Some stuff that ESPN created, and nobody takes it serious. And I don't know if you watched the Saints game, but they had a chance to win that game late. Jameis came in for Derek Carter got hurt. And when he came in, I wrote down the stats. He was 2 for 5, 41 yards. But those 5 passes, the 3 that was errant, as you say, way off target, had he connected, they could have got in position to win a field goal or even a touchdown to tie the game and win the game. Jameis, but being an NFL backup, to me, that's a cush job. Jameis probably enjoying life. Oh, gotta go play. Okay. But bad passes, man. All right, brings me to Desmond Ridder and the Falcons, which they beat up on the Jets, which, like I said, ain't saying much. He was 12 for 27, 121 yards. His average 4.5, 1 touchdown. He was sacked 3 times for negative 17 yards, QBR 35.5, and rating 70.1. Like I said, the Falcons are winning in spite of him. I posted some articles why they still believe in him. And these teams are going to ride their quarterback decisions until there ain't nothing else to say about him. You know, then they move on. So this brings me to Bryce Young, and that's probably gonna be the case. Now, I said this about Bryce because I went back and looked at Russell Wilson and Drew Brees' height and weight. I think Drew Brees is at 6 feet, 185, somewhere around there. Russell's at 5'11, closer to 200. And you look at Bryce, and he's 5'10, like 180, 185. I thought if you put on a little bit more muscle, the good kind of muscle, you know, muscle up. He can't get too muscle. He can't go throw right. You know, put on the proper amount of weight, get a little stronger. Who knows? You know, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, two of the shorter quarterbacks that have won the Super Bowl in recent years. Because it don't look so good for Bryce right now. And you know, I've always joking saying he's too short. But maybe he's not. He just needs a little bit of muscle. But because he ain't really pushing the ball downfield. He's 15 for 31, 178 yards, 5.7 average, 0 TDs, 1 INT, sacked 4 times for 29 yards. QBR 18.9, the rating 52.9. You know, the short quarterbacks they have a hard time seeing. Kyler Murray, a lot of bad down passes. Number one pick, you know, they're going to stay with him until there ain't nothing to stay with, you know, and then they're going to move on. Now, this brings me to Jalen. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles. Like I said, that game, man, they put it on him. And he just stood back there in the pocket late way too long. I mean, if the 49ers like, we're going to drop 7, we eventually going to get there, we're going to keep you, and you're not going to run, you ain't, I don't know if he can operate that way. But he was 26 for 45, 298 yards, had a 6.6 average, 1 TD, 0 INTs, was sacked 3 times for 27 yards. QBR was 40.5, the rating 85.2. So I think he had it was a touchdown to push tush or whatever, I can't remember. But it wasn't a good game for Jalen and the Eagles. Obviously, everybody they got flew out. They got beat down. But this brings me to one of my favorite players and one of my favorite games with Jordan Love. And if you see, I keep saying if you follow my commentary and my videos, you know, like I said it earlier on in the video, how much I love Jordan Love. Because they were hating on him, I felt like unnecessarily and really unfactually. I mean, this is, I know he's been on the team, I mean, 3 years, his first year start, right? Sitting behind Aaron Rodgers. We know the story. I just figured he looked like he could be an NFL quarterback. Just his size, the way he delivers, and his, you know, stands in there, makes good throws, make good decisions. He has some good games, bad games start out. Last 3 games, he's been playing pretty well. Against the Chiefs, he was 25 for 36, 267 yards, 7.4 average, 3 TDs, sacked 2 times for 14 yards. QBR is 90.3, rating 118.6. All I'm saying about him is he looks like he is that guy where a team can depend on. Christian Watson, I believe, that wide receiver number 9, and he's got some other young receivers. I believe they have the youngest receiving core and the youngest team in the NFL. So once again, give him 2, 3 years and see where he'd be if we're not talking about him as one of the top quarterbacks, as well as CJ Stroud. And who knows what Anthony Richardson is going to do when he comes back. So that's what I'm saying. The rise of the black quarterback, it's happening. It's not something I'm just making up. It's going to happen regardless. And I'm just trying to be on the forefront to document it and to talk about these brothers. Because they are going to be dominating in the NFL. Once our numbers tip the scale at 17 starting, as opposed to where we are now, hovering around 13, 14, 15. Once we get to 17 black quarterbacks out of the 32 teams, we will be the dominant numbers. And once again, I will keep repeating myself. All that's going to do is allow black quarterbacks to win more games. You win more games, you make it to the playoffs. You make it to the playoffs, you could possibly make it to the conference championship. You make the conference championship, you can make it to the Super Bowl. You make the Super Bowl, you possibly win. I went over the numbers of how many Super Bowls are. Everybody know 58 going on 59 this year. Um, I think it's 58 coming up. I'm 59. Super Bowl 1 year younger. I was called Super Bowl my younger brother. I'm 59. But we 34 guys who won the Super Bowl out of the 58. Only 34. We talked about it. Go look it up. Go look at one of my previous videos. Go look it up. Okay, number of men. So it's a very special season. It takes a little bit of luck. When I say luck, I don't mean like you throw a ball and it bounces and your player catches it when it's supposed to be intercepted. I mean luck, like staying healthy and that kind of luck. Because there's going to be good plays, bad plays, good calls, bad calls. And to me, efficiency. Y'all seen it. I think efficient offenses, they determine how good a defense is. So anyway, there I have it. Once again, it's BQF baby, the Black Quarterback Forum. We win it anytime there's two black quarterbacks playing in a primetime game. We are winning. Thank you. See you next week. Take care.